Hello, everyone. Welcome to Concordia Consularis, the spiritual and business agency of peace, here today with Harrison. Hello, Harrison.
Hey Angela, how are you doing? I'm
Yeah.
glad to be here.
Welcome back after a break.
Yeah.
So today we are looking at Maui. And it's been a subject that's been in the media quite substantially over the last, 4 weeks, I think it is now, 3-4 weeks, where tremendous damage has been done to the environment, to people's homes. Children have gone missing, and chaos has ensued in this, what struck me as a giant land clearance and culture clearance, because of who was actually affected by this scene. It is not just luck and chance. There is more to it that meets the eye. The media is not reporting anything other than hearsay. We need to wait. And in the meantime, while that is all taking place, there's going to be another set of circumstances that takes the focus away from Maui. So today, in Spiritual Courts of Equity, we decided to host this spiritual court to assist spiritually for the world, for the populace, and for this particular culture to receive spiritual accountability and knowledge as to what has actually taken place, who is responsible for this, and then those responsible will be dealt with and processed in the spiritual court, so that no actions are left undealt with at the spiritual level of the soul. Because this is quite shocking, but it has happened in other scenarios. There was a similar scene in California. Also, following on from Maui, there was a similar scene in British Columbia. So all of these sites are particularly key here. We do know that. And it's of military significance and importance to the area for many unseen reasons, i.e., there is a huge US military interest there, but also it's strategically close to China, Russia, and all the other warring groups of the same system, which is basically designed to annihilate humans on Earth and feed off their life force, abilities, skills, and their coding as to who they actually are on the planet, and what that means in terms of their own domination and control plans. So we do try and take a different perspective here in the Spiritual Courts of Equity, because what you are told is not often true. So without further delay, Harrison, I'm just going to open up the Spiritual Courts of Equity with all those that have been affected by this, the races, the lineages, Earth. And if you could describe to me the picture that you're seeing. I also want to bring into the Spiritual Court of Equity the souls of these missing 1,000 to 2,000 children that we don't yet have a clear figure for, that has been reported. So I would just like to arrange for that to take place. And these are the ones that have been affected the most here, with the destruction of their homes, their land, their community, a substantial part of the population, and the children that have been affected or are physically.
Yeah, I'm looking at the situation. I'm just seeing burnt grounds. It's like it has this kind of burnt kind of an energy. This is what I'm picking up. And people whose livelihood has been crushed. There's this energy of despair. There's this energy of hopelessness. There's this energy of people trying to cry for help, and from where they think the help is gonna come from, there's no help coming. And once I go deeper into that kind of a feeling, I'm seeing this kind of cannibalistic kind of energy that is feeding off this desperation kind of feeling, so as to develop an agenda or whatever they want to create out of this situation. Because as you know, there's a saying that don't let a good crisis go to waste. So this is a crisis that has been created, and of course somebody wants to capitalize on this crisis and do whatever they want to do on this kind of land. But also on the other hand, once I go deeper into that, I see there's a very, this land naturally, when it is in natural form, it has a very calm, serene kind of an environment that's very ancient, that has had many different cultures on top of it, but they are connected to the what you'd call the originals or the founders of this planet. So yes, things have changed here and there, but there's that energy of beginning down there, and the indigenous communities who were still on this land were enjoying it, but because of different political areas where what we have, political will was used to snatch this land, because at some point they were free, what you'd call free, but it was taken over, and now the system of domination and control want to create something on this land. So what I'm seeing is just an energy where there's chaos, and somebody wants now to bring order into that chaos, but not to benefit the locals, but to benefit whatever the system wants.
It's agenda. So one of the, I'm just going to tap into the environmental energies here. So what we have is a complete balance of all the elements here. Water, the perfect salinity, the fire of the volcano, and the steam and the cycles, the natural living cycles of planet are in operation that provide the most excellent climate, the most excellent growing conditions for all of life here on this island. Some of it is unique to this specific biosphere, and it's like an original, let's just say, seed enclave where anything will grow. We have this positive harmonic balance here on Earth in terms of her geological makeup and consistency, but also here we have Earth as a sentient, female, life-giving, spiritual entity in this universe, where everything is completely, or was, in complete harmony. So we're seeing a few different feelings about that and how that settles and works with our own planetary energy, the technology, the structure that is in us as human physical vehicles. We're built of the same material of the mother. And often, often here, I'm going to go, these are explanations of what we naturally physically are with our light received from our souls, our spirits, pardon me, for scratching my nose. And this intense frequency of fire out of balance is not characteristic of the natural flow of earth energies in this current or currency. So I'm itching my nose here because I'm going to go back to what you said about the burning smell of chaos. This, when you smell physically that level of burning death impact, and there's a certain smell about it. And for those who are clair aroma sensitive, they will know the smells of death. They will know the smells of what can I call it? The smell of extremely dark alchemy and magic. And those who are adepts will know this. So this
what
level,
I'm getting,
this level of alchemy is quite something. It's been done before in that location, but yes, going back into it.
I'm being shown there's this animation called Moana. I don't know if you've ever watched it.
Yeah.
In this animation called Moana, there's somebody who was called Maui in this animation called Moana. And Maui was this character who had been given a gift by the gods. It looks like a bone that is carved like a sickle, and he can be able to shapeshift, do magical stuff. And the more good he does, there's these tattoos, that are appearing on his body. And one of the tattoos it's like a smaller version of him that's talking to him. And this character is acted by The Rock, called Maui. So the funny thing is that Maui at some point, because he's a mischievous character, he happened to go into this island. And in this island, it was called Tafiti. And went to the heart of Tafiti and removed, there was where we would say the heart is, it was a small piece of rock, was removed from there. And Tafiti changed and became this corrupt kind of goddess, started throwing fire, started throwing, this energy of killing started spreading into the water from island to island.
Yeah.
And the community where Moana comes from is a fishing community, and also they eat coconuts, and they are kind of an indigenous kind of community. So they are doing small scale farming where they have their goats, their pigs, their chickens, but they're depending on the land basically. And now this kind of sickness comes to this island where everything is dying. The fish are no longer there. The coconuts are going bad even before their time. Animals are dying. And there were a culture that was going out into the sea and navigating all over the sea, discovering new islands, spreading life, spreading their culture and civilization. But because of what Maui had done to Tafiti, the seas were rough. Yeah.
Yeah, the seas
Yeah,
were
this is
rough.
the character. Yeah, this is the animation that I'm talking about.
Mm.
And one had to gather courage to be able to even convince Maui to be able to go and return the heart of Tafiti so that they could bring everything back to order. So this is the moment you are talking, this is what was coming to me.
Yeah, that's very interesting there, because that in itself, as it's been released by Disney, is it Disney?
I don't know, but I think maybe
Yeah.
it's
It is, I think. You're going to be under the story pen of the dark magic writers of expression in human artistic form. So the story is in response to a scene that took place in a similar way, because this is how they infected at the very beginning, in the early phases of the experimentation process in Lemuria. They employed exactly the same strategy, methodology, whatever you want to call it. But it was exactly the same as this, rolling on through the kidnap of the children. So let's visit the children's souls in this spiritual court of equity. And I just want to work with them for a moment. Here, I can feel a slight apprehension and rumbling that there is a certain level of expectation for those that have put this in place. So I'm just going to open a separate part of the court for them to reside in. And they're still coming in. Perceptions and thoughts on the perpetrators.
what I was getting, the first energy I was getting was don't do this, don't do this. There's a hot potato to touch. Yeah. But as I look, it's a different mixture. So what's happening here? It's, let's say, for example, something happens which is less than 1%. Something less than 1% is bad, and 99.99 is good. But the media doesn't show you the 99.99% that is good. They focus on the bad, and you think everything is bad. So yes, I'm being told there were those children who, sorry to say, they succumbed into the fire that was happening, but it's not a huge number. But now, given that kind of view, it opened a window of where right now we are hearing of stories of children who are crossing the border without their parents, and they are not even being processed properly, and they are being linked up with families who have questionable kind of character. And this situation in Maui, these are very powerful children because they are connected to the ancestral land. So this would be the first place when this kind of an event would happen. It would be the first place where you can go and snatch, a couple of them and claim the fire, took them over, or something mysterious happened. And since it's a wide area, it will be very difficult to investigate or try to find. So this is the kind of narrative that is being played. So where, yes, some of them passed away because of the fire that was happening, but getting to even be one or two of them that were, I think, died in this process, but the majority are the one who have been snatched away and
there's
left somewhere else.
there is life It's true. There is life. They are alive. So let's focus in on the perpetrators that don't want us to reveal what we're about to reveal, which I have no idea. I have a cynical perception, maybe. And that is, I can, because I see the PR, their PR, no, you must not do this. Their spokespeople are very insistent,
Yeah.
not that bears any relevance to me personally. So can you read these perpetrators? So we have various links and Kate, I just want to say this. There are various links in to other people who are perhaps swept along by the pay packet, that maybe don't believe everything that they say, but they've just accepted the money because they didn't have the foresight to stand free of such a political subject and be separate from that, because ultimately they take a salary. So I just want to reveal that to those people, because their light can be seen, that they were literally coerced by the dollar, the military dollar. And okay, so they're in a separate part of the court. Now let's just look in on those responsible and those to be held spiritually accountable, including the concept creator of this repeat pattern across all previous constructs of time. And that's going to take a couple of minutes there to come in, because we're going to dig deep. And we, have a pretty good idea at a galactic level who is the supporting acts in these processes on this global theatre that you're experiencing in 3D reality construct.
So there are many angles that are streaming in here, but one that is very clear is that it's like a social experiment that was happening. First, we have to talk about the power of the dollar here. So this is a very lucrative kind of an area. But also this is an area that has a very strong ancestral energy and connection, and it's a very, very ancient area. So there are very powerful energies around this area. And then the next thing, there's a social experiment on the people, on how they are gonna react after such an event happens. So once that event was pulled out, they had to fall back and see how are people reacting to this, given that people have been fractalized, and there are different narratives playing around. And now there are even some that want to collect some funds to go and assist these people. But the reaction that they have gotten is not what they expected.
Yeah.
And because
as
a social experiment,
and the Rock, the front runners in that fraternity.
So the social experiment that they were running here, it was a small controlled kind of an aspect, and see how you're gonna control the people and the larger population at large, and see how they are gonna react, so as to, if need be, it can be deployed into other areas that they need to capture and own. So that's the first kind of line that I'm able to see.
Okay, this is going deep, far and wide. It's just gone through to another level of operation at a planetary level, but also a universal level. So I'm just going to identify where all those missing children are, the souls of them, and we're going to repatriate everyone. And there's a specific process that's going to take place, but back to the perpetrators. So these different lines of reasoning, social experiment, seeing how humanity is going to turn out. And as you were talking, they were showing me the levels of spiritual disconnect between the solar population and the ancestors. Because believe me, they're doing this with one race. They're coming for every single race on Earth today. And I tell you that in no uncertain terms, that is their plan. And yes, we have already completed this phase, and it has been done. But actually, your conscious free will is really important in these moments, because it's actually, yes, people, many souls are feeling powerless right now and overwhelmed by this structure of silence, but ever presence. That is not the creator. That is the prison that's been set on humanity and its development of evolution of all races and cultures on Earth. But these constructs are short-sighted. They feed the immediate. So I'm just highlighting the ancestral disconnection, because actually this is a side swipe at many cultures who originated from the sun.
Yeah.
So the plans for such a sacred invested in area such as Maui are also quite interesting here. So I'm just requesting that information to be presented. And there's an awful lot that's happening here in this moment.
I don't know why I'm seeing this golden kind of statue of a
Mhm.
Maui. So, like something that is to be worshipped. I'm not getting it. I don't know what you're picking up on that.
Right, let's just read that data. It's like an award, isn't it?
Yeah.
Reminds me of some sort of thing that the media machine would throw out once a year. It is here is a direct attack on the magic of their ceremonies. I just find it all very interesting how these attacks on the sacred have been rolling through, let's say, in this immediate time of the sun being the most in this particular area. Interesting phase of use of universal cycles and planetary cycles. So into that, I'm just going to add here all the infiltrators of all womb chakras. So the intended, let's just look at it from a varied perspective here. So yes, we see the information being exchanged to us. Yes, this is a place, Maui is a place of total balance, sacred harmony, physically, spiritually, ceremonially, but also geologically. Perfect marine life, movement of energies in that particular area. And with that, we see the disconnection of the ancestors. And the removal of souls from the lineage in complete trauma. And we have many lies being told by the system to cover up their messes that have been created in this time frame and all others. I just want to ensure that all levels are corrected at a spiritual level here, because this is going way, way back into the story of Earth, into the story of your body. And there will be those that affect the natural growth and expansion of Mother Earth in her phase and cycle. It's happened to us women. It's happening to the men in construct belief systems. But here we're going to find a generational output that connects into the past. And this generational output will have been manipulated by vaccines, poisons, chemicals, etc. And bring you out of balance, disconnect you, with the intent to replace your energy with automated systems, transhumanism. And their opinion of you is you will support that process of domination and control, not only at a national level, community level, but at a soul level. That is their intent. Whilst disconnecting the best of the best in their childhood years. And this story we're seeing perpetuated time and time again. No wonder I hear from so many souls and people that they're tired of this repeat action. So how are the elders looking here? I've requested that they come from way back from when this first happened.
Yeah, I'm seeing some very, very old elders here.
Mm.
But also in the court, I don't know why, but the guys who caused these things, they aren't denying or trying to run away or do anything. No, it's a very calm court, and it's like they're accepting what they knew this was coming at some point. They knew the retaliation. So I don't know, it's kind of a negotiation that's happening. Yes, the elders know what is happening, and there's this energy they are trying to harvest. Whatever they are trying, they think they are gonna harvest here. Together with Mother Earth, it's not gonna be possible because you can't tap into this field to maintain the system. It's a crumbling system, and its time has come. So it's like on another level, some of these guys know it's a system that's falling off, and they're trying to play it as far as they can play it. So they just do it because that's their nature, and it's a freakish kind of a nature. But others are hardcore believers who think they have won, and they're gonna push this until the end. So, but
Yeah.
on the energetic kind of level, there's no support.
It really does feel like that. It really does. So I would like to just add an interesting dynamic here. I would like to invite the races, the elders of the races that have perpetuated harm to have, and I'm using past tense, have perpetuated harm in the past to children and their civilizations on Earth in terms of annihilation. We're talking about Syrian reptilian races and any other type of race, Anunnaki, whatever, 2D, whatever name they use. I'd just like to invite the ancestral beings into the court, the early ones, the original.
I can see them, but they came in saying, we had nothing to do with this.
I know, that's
Well,
why
here.
I asked them. Because a lot of negotiations have been going on behind the scenes with these races about how this is going to stop. And a direct imperative needs to be sent out. And that had been done. So I'm just showing them what future factions are going to affect them and their own development as consciousness, because they're tired of it too. And what do they say, Harrison?
I'm getting this kind of an anger, kind of a feeling, because one, they're saying they had nothing to do with this. Two, the controllers of the earth, or the service kind of management that's ruling the earth, it's like they have gone rogue. They are not following what the overlords want them to follow. So there's that kind of a disconnect. So they're saying they are hands off. We had nothing to do with this. That's all on their own.
And yeah, and I would just like to provide a bit of assistance in that process. I'm just going to ask them to face directly their people and let their people answer to them. It's a bit awkward. So we're actually participating in a resolution within the culture of the perpetrator as well here. So we're keeping a very balanced view about it. So if you could read the negotiations between perpetrators and elders, that would be wonderful.
I'm getting the language they understand is the language of threat, brutalism, and when they know that their life can be ended at any point in time. But also there's this substructure in this management that doesn't want this kind of, like a slave master kind of thing to be perpetuated. So they have to discuss as, I want to use the word equals, but they don't want they don't want to use this kind of term as equals, because even if this is what is there, they still feel the surface population are beneath them. They don't have that perception that these are their equals. But the management, this is what they are doing is their hands off clean. They don't want any karmic kind of entanglement or interaction with this.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever the service population or the management staff that were involved into this, they have a thinking that maybe they can pass this karmic debt into the future generation, but they can't. So they are stuck with it. And right now you can see the backlash that is there in the population. They are calling out these people.
Mm-hmm.
They are seeing, one person coming here with a helping hand, but on the other hand, they are taking everything that has happened or has been burnt out there in terms of buying the land and acquiring properties and all that stuff. But in one hand, they are coming to cool or to tell you guys that they were sorry. But if they really wanted to help, maybe they could have started rebuilding the houses of the families of the guys who are while not going out there and starting to buy their land, and because those people are in a crisis. But at the end of it all, they're not gonna escape this. People are seeing it. It's creating a movement among the people,
Mhm.
and it's gonna reach a point where they're gonna be rejected by the surface population. They don't want anything to do with these guys because they only think about themselves.
Yeah, and it's interesting. What do you observe coming from the elders of their cultures, the perpetrator culture? What do you observe?
The elders, they are kind of, I would say 50-50. They want to support, have this loving, caring kind of thing. But on the other hand, they
Mm.
feel this shame
Yeah.
because um they have tolerated whatever they are doing because they were supporting them with energy in one way or another. But right now, it's like all the taps are closed. So the best thing the elders can do is not offer any kind of spiritual support. That's what I'll put it. That's
It's
the
kind of like,
resolution that's
right, that
happening in the court.
element.
Yeah.
Yeah, that element
Yeah.
is being dealt with. There's just about one step forward from their holy people, holy elders.
Let me look at this.
And what is happening is it's literally intervention. And yeah, look, what are you seeing there? Can you?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, at this situation. I don't know. I'm being showed there's this bird. I don't know if it's because it's a small bird, but when it's able to blow its chest and it looks like its anger it's holding within its chest area. I don't know if you've ever seen this bird, and it has a small it's a small bird, and its chest areas, there's a way it's able to blow it, and it looks like we say in our culture, it's keeping its anger in there. And then there's this also there's this bird that goes all over the area, collecting and gathering any shiny stuff. That's metal objects and all that stuff. And it builds this large nest on the tree, and it starts storing some of these things that it has collected all over, and it doesn't want to share with anybody. And there's a kind of energy I'm getting, and this energy belongs to the perpetrators. And then the bird represent these elders that of that culture. So they have shame and blame and guilt within themselves, but also the elders are angry with these guys because they want this to end. They want a fresh start, but these guys are having none of that. They wanna extend this thing as long as they can extend it, and the elders knows whatever karmic implication that is being created here, it's affecting them. You're on mute.
Yes, it is affecting them. Hey, quite substantially. and everything that they do in the future, i.e., resolve their own mess in karmic terms for their lineage, for their ancestry. And that is just going to put a block on things and create more havoc into all of their futures, whatever form that takes, separate of any political dramas and all the rest of it. Now, the message from the ancestors, the holy elders, is very clear. And I can feel their energy coming online in a very different way. So they're going to be working with the technologies internally. There's nothing, and they will override. I believe in the strength of that. So what can you see with that whole line of perpetrators and linked ones?
So the first thing that I'm being told is the people who have suffered this, in their own way, they are gonna be protected, they are gonna be provided for, and they're gonna have this spirit of wanting to rebuild. Yeah, some of them are gonna sell off because they don't wanna stay in this kind of area because it's too painful for them. But there is this strong community there that's gonna rebuild and gonna come back stronger than ever before, like a show of defiance to whatever the system is trying to perpetuate. And this system of domination and control and the perpetrators are gonna see it like some kind of competition. They might try to do other avenues in terms of land grab and all that, but they do know the population is, everybody is watching. There are different ways the information is passing. So what the court is resolving or resorting into is that whatever they are trying to achieve in this island, because that's energy harvesting of this island, to have this energy support the system, because this energy from this island is very powerful. That support has been cut off. So they are not going to have access to that. They might try to grab the land thinking they are going to build these mega structures and it's going to, I don't know, assist them in whatever thing they want to achieve. But it's going to be a futile kind of thing.
Yeah, look, I agree with you on that score. It is futile. And I think that they just underestimate the earth.
Yeah.
So I can see a massive.
I don't know. Yeah, but the court seems to be quiet. Things looks like
It's all
from
settling
our
down.
part, yeah, like whatever you could have done in this moment of now, you have done, you have looked into this issue. It looks cool, calm, and relaxing. And in the background, other things are still gonna happen. But whatever we could have been able to achieve in this court, we have achieved.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can, yeah.
And the work with the souls there, living there, the lineage is there. They're going to be worked with at a more intense level of focus.
Yeah, I'm getting like this thing is a layered kind of a situation. So we have captured the first layer.
Yeah.
And we need to first of all settle down and then allow things to play out and then come back and look at things from another angle and with the way things have reacted. And then from that, we deal with that.
Absolutely right. So as a first innings, that's great. It's just, you know, what we've seen is a survival cycle. So yeah, it's all ongoing stuff. And it was a real pleasure to share this spiritual court of equity with you here today. If you would like a session, or you know, leave a like, subscribe, and it just helps us to accept ourselves and our responsibilities as individuals on Earth, and the ways we can improve our own evolution, coexisting with Earth and the universe. And yeah, just it's all a bit new to some, but many of you will remember. So, any final words there, Harrison?
What I'm gonna say is to the people is stay strong. There's love, abundance of love from everything that is around you, from the elders, from the ancestors. And we may think things are not working for us, but things are always working for us. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yay, sounds good to me. That's true. Better. Okay, thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you again really soon. Oh, P.S. I'm going to be recording a little introduction and some soul healing vibes in these times of weariness that humans are experiencing right now. Okay.